Good morning and welcome to another set of Ready, Set, Achieves Monday Morning Motivation. Obviously, you've had a great weekend and you're heading off for a great week. And I thought this morning we might talk a little bit about communication because it's been coming up a lot recently that in various areas that communicating one's products or services can be rather difficult, fraught with miscommunication, misunderstandings, and so on. The important thing about communication is understanding how you deliver your information, understanding that providing just lots and lots and lots of information can sometimes leave your prospect a little bit cool, notwithstanding you're telling an absolutely wonderful story about an absolutely wonderful product or service, and of course you're highlighting just how fantastic you are at providing all of this. But unless that's tied to something that the prospect can relate it to, then it's going to fall on deaf ears generally, because they can't tie it straight to whatever solution they're looking for. They're going to have great difficulty understanding what it is you're trying to get across in your message. So understanding how to have your prospect arrive at that place where they can accept your information is probably the biggest part of delivering the information. And that comes back to questions and the old adage of, how do you get the right answer? The way to get the right answer is to ask the right question. And figuring out what that question might be at any given time can be something of an issue. Lots of folks seem to have tremendous difficulty with that. However, whatever you're doing, just try your best, and probably you're going to find some people who are going to listen to you. And if you keep in mind that whatever somebody says to you about what it is you're trying to encourage them to become involved in, they are simply delivering a message to you. And it might be that they need the information in a different way. It might be that you're delivering the information perfectly. It might be that they understand perfectly what it's all about. It's up to you to interpret whatever the answers and information they provide is. Those messages are really, really important. I went to a business seminar last week. It was a 2-day event, 10 speakers, so 2 pretty full days, tremendous amount of information provided. And each of the speakers very well went about what they were doing. So what they did was to ensure that they had all of us out there in the audience listening for the right information. That is, they set up their speech admirably so that when we heard whatever information it was that they wanted to provide, we were actually in a position to relate it to our own situation and apply whatever it was that they were telling us. So that's the important part about information. Information of itself doesn't really count for much. Information we can relate to our own situation, however, is absolutely superb, because the more information that we can take on, that we can relate to whatever our situation is, the greater understanding we have of opportunities to overcome whatever issues we might be having. Whatever the product or service is that you offer, as long as you provide the information relative to whatever issues your particular person you're speaking to at that particular time has, the greater the opportunity that person is going to find your solution to be the one that is perfect for them. So communication, think about it. How do you communicate? Are you taking the time to find out what the problem is that you want to solve for somebody? Or are you, like lots of us do or have done, just tell people whatever it is that we want to talk about? At the end of the day, communication is all about the person who's hearing rather than the person who's speaking. So the speaker therefore needs to understand what it is that the hearer wants to hear so that the speaker can deliver it in a way that the hearer is well, better, more receptive, if you will, to whatever the story is that you're telling. It's a complex area, this communication thing, and whatever you can do to better your understanding of communication, the better opportunity you have to grow whatever business it is that you're in. The better opportunity you have to find the right customers with whom to work. And all of that comes down to communication. It's all about making sure that you present yourself in the right way, that you're going to find the ideal customer for you. Now, in the link beside this little broadcast, I've got a spot there which will allow you to take you to a place where you can find some more information about communication. It's going to a particular post on my site, cliveenover.com.au, but surrounding it, you'll find lots and lots of other information about communication. The whole thing is tied around communication. It's how you talk to people, how you find out what problem it is that they have that you might solve, and indeed whether or not you're capable of resolving whatever issue a potential customer has. The thing that I learned very early on in selling was that if you don't have the solution to the person's problem, go and find somebody who has the problem that you can resolve. And that became a big part of selling for me, was to find out precisely what the potential customer wanted, because if you can't solve it, don't waste your time. Go off and talk to somebody that you can help, and that way you're not going to upset people by trying to get them to buy stuff that they don't want. So communication, an excellent way to start the week. Talk to as many people as you can about the right things, and all of a sudden you'll find yourself with extra customers. So have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye now.